The people in the village all came out to witness one of the most extraordinary events that had ever happened that day. In the village of Apoma, where palm trees sway gently like dancers greeting the wind, where the scent of roasted corn and fried plantain floats above the market square, where drums echo at dusk and stories live in every corner, there lived a girl named Amarachi. She was unlike anyone the village had ever seen. She was tall, taller than every girl, taller than every boy, taller than the elders. When she walked, she moved like a palm tree brushing the clouds, and her hair, oh, her hair, it was thick, black, full and curly, like a river of midnight cascading down her back. She looked like royalty from a forgotten legend, and always she wore her dress, beautifully sewn from vibrant Ankara prints that hugged her tall frame gracefully. She moved through the village market with elegance, carrying baskets, greeting elders, and smiling kindly at children. People admired her beauty, but admiration is not the same as acceptance, and certainly not the same as love. Because in Amarachi's village, there was a belief, a rule, an expectation. A wife must never be taller than her husband. And so, though she grew more radiant with age, suitors stopped coming. Her friends got married, one by one. Celebration songs filled the air, drums echoed with joy, and each time Amarachi found herself smiling for them, while her heart sank quietly. Even those younger than her found love and left home in colourful weddings filled with laughter. Meanwhile, Amarachi remained, watching, waiting, and praying. Whispers followed her wherever she went. She is too tall. She will overshadow her husband. She will shame her in-laws. Who will marry such a giant? Slowly, those whispers pierced through her confidence like tiny needles. She began to wonder. Am I cursed? Did God forget me? Was I created wrong? Every morning, before the sun stretched over the horizon, Amarachi walked to the stream. The village slept while the world was still dressed in darkness. But the sky slowly began to paint itself blue. Crickets hummed, frogs croaked softly, and the wind whispered secrets to the trees. And there, at the stream, Amarachi sang. Her voice was sweet and calm, like the first light of dawn touching the earth. It rolled gently like river water, soothing everything around it. She would fill her clay pot with water, lift it gracefully onto her head, and walk back home before the first cock crowed. Until one morning, something changed. Someone else was there, watching, listening, frozen in awe. He was Obinna, the shortest man in the entire village. People often mocked him, children laughed, men teased him, women ignored him. But Obinna had something rare, a gentle spirit. He worked hard as a farmer, though his size made his labour 10 times harder than that of others. The world rarely noticed him. Yet, that morning, he noticed Amarachi. Not her height, not her hair, not the expectations placed on her. He noticed her heart. He hid quietly behind the bushes, breath held, eyes wide, listening to that golden voice filling the dawn air. And as the sun slowly rose, painting Amarachi's tall figure in glowing light, something powerful grew in his chest. Love. From that day on, Obinna returned every morning. He pretended to be fetching firewood, pretended to be checking his farm, pretended to be doing anything, just so he could stand there, unseen, listening. Day after day, her song wrapped around his soul. Day after day, courage grew inside him, until one morning, he stepped out. Amarachi turned. She gasped. There he was, short, humble, smiling nervously. I'm sorry, he said softly. I didn't mean to scare you. I've been listening to your songs, and they are the most beautiful thing I have ever heard. No man had spoken to her so kindly in years. No man had looked at her like she was human, not a giant, not a mistake, just Amarachi. She smiled gently. "Thank you," she whispered, and so began a quiet friendship. They talked, they laughed, they shared stories. He told her about his struggles. She told him about her fears. Slowly, laughter replaced the pain in her heart. Slowly, confidence returned. Slowly, love bloomed, not rushed, not forced, pure, real. One evening, Obinna went to Amarachi's family and asked for her hand in marriage. The village exploded. How can the shortest man marry the tallest woman? This is wrong. This is against tradition. This is shameful, people shouted. People judged. People mocked. But Obinna stood firm, and Amarachi stood stronger. Her parents saw something beautiful. They saw their daughter smiling again. They saw her glowing. They saw love, and they agreed. The village was forced to gather and witness the wedding. It was the most unusual wedding in history. The bride towered like a queen. The groom stood proudly below her shoulder. But when they stood side by side, their hearts aligned perfectly. As drums beat, music soared, and dancing shook the ground, something miraculous happened. The village began to see what love truly was. They saw courage. They saw loyalty. They saw joy. They saw two hearts defying rules created by fear. And slowly, smiles replaced frowns. Cheering replaced murmurs. Acceptance replaced judgment. The people realized something powerful that day. Love has no rules. Love has no height. Love has no shame. Love has no limits. That wedding taught the village something greater than they had ever known. Love is deeper than any tradition. Amarachi was no longer the cursed tall girl. She became the woman whose love story changed an entire community. And Obinna, he became the man who proved that true strength has nothing to do with size, only courage. And so they lived together, happily ever after.